motherfuckers. Yo, yo, yo. Thank you for coming to Suitman Productions tonight. We have Soul Sista Sundays 4 starting. We have a wonderful lineup for you tonight. Unfortunately, we had some changes happen, and we'll talk about that. But tonight, we have opening our show will be Elani Nichell out of Silver Springs, Maryland. We'll have brain fart. Um, then we'll have Geneva Joy out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Then we'll have Maria DeLaGhetto out of Los Angeles, California. And closing out the show, we'll have Dahlia Belle out of Portland, Oregon. But now, if everybody could turn on your mics, get ready to have a good time, be ready to laugh. It's time to give it up for your hostess with the mostest. Give it up for Algiers Diamond.
For me. Good evening, good night, wherever time it is on whatever coast that you are in. Welcome to Suitman Productions presents the Soul Sista Sundays, and I'm just trying to figure out what trouble I'm gonna get into on this Sunday. Last Sunday, I got into trouble. This Sunday, I think I'm gonna get into trouble too. I think I will, because I talk about white people a lot. I was talking about the white girls that was inside of the bathtub that Dante had me on the show with, and I really thought that was quite interesting. So, guys, before we even start the show, we want to give a shout out, send our love, light to Trini Irish. She was going to be on the show as the headliner, and unfortunately, her mother. Has fallen ill and was taken to the hospital, so she cannot be with us on tonight. So we are going to give her a moment of silence so we can send our love and light to her. All right. Now that we've had that moment of silence, our lineup has changed. So first we'll have Elani, then Geneva, Maria, and then we're going to have Bria right before Dahlia. So Bria got here on time. Give her a round of applause, ladies. Woo! We're not black people on time. Payday. We on time for our
Sorry. I couldn't find my headphones, y'all. My bad.
child. Mute her. Bria, you be quiet. I'm supposed to be my 10 minutes now. See, this is why I can't work with black people. White people be on time with their money. They be on time with their unseasoned chicken to parties. I don't. Okay, let me get my life. So, guys, gentrification is real, and for Dahlia, who is in Portland, Oregon, when I was in Portland, I was so like befuddled. I had never seen something a city so white before. It was as if there was uh ice cream, like vanilla ice cream inside of a jug of milk. It was just the milkiest, just lactose intolerant most place I have ever been in my entire life. And and I stood out on Martin Luther King Boulevard and I felt safe. Never did that before in any other city ever in my life. uh, Gentrification is 100% there, and so other cities are trying to be like Portland, and uh, gentrification, there's levels to it. So the underground railroad of gentrification is Starbucks, guys. It is Starbucks. So when you see a Starbucks pop up in your neighborhood, oh, just know Oh, just know that Karen and them are gonna be moving in real soon. You know what I'm saying? But white people, they got a little crafty on how they find out if the area is safe yet, what level of gentrification it has been yet, right? So if you go into Starbucks, they go into Starbucks and they take an order, and their special of the day will tell you just how black or not black the city is, right? So you go up in there and they're like, their special was espresso. Okay, Negroes live there, right? Negroes live, and if you go in there and they say caramel macchiato is a special, all right, it's the Negroes that they kind of can handle, like me. They're like, okay, you all right, you all right, you a little light skinned. We're not afraid of you, okay? But when it goes to pumpkin spice, gentrification is done for in those cities. It is over. It is complete. It is vanilla latte with 2 pumps of vanilla and an extra pump of that pumpkin spice stuff, and that is done. So that's their little underground railroad. I'm so silly. So also protesting. Why do white people want to tell us how to protest? I just want to know, because it's something that they can't steal from us. I'm just asking because they protest. They can't get it together. They don't have no chance. They protest be boring. You know, they protest be real boring. They can't say, hands up, don't shoot. There's just stuff that white people can't do, and then even if they try it, they just don't have a beat for it. There's no rhythm. It's like it's so rhythmless. It's so sad. White people like to protest. Like, remember when they was protesting Nike? Remember? And it was all burning they old ass 1982 tennis shoes. Cause they don't buy no new shoes, right? So they was protesting, like people was worried about them old ass shoes. Really? Really, Karen? Really, Jonathan? We was worried about them? Okay, so the last time I saw a white person in the mall buying shoes, I'm getting emotional. I'm getting really emotional because what had happened was, oh God, this woman was in there buying shoes with her son, and she took the shoe off the rack and she was looking at it and she was like, "Do you have these in my son's house?" She was bending the shoe, y'all. She was bending the shoe. Y'all see the tears? This is real tears. Black people don't bend our shoes. We will walk around like Herman Monster for 45 days because we do not want to put no crease in our shoes. This woman was bending the shoes, y'all. White people don't know. Somebody talk. Okay, let me get my life together. Let me get my life together because I'm really, really, really excited about the lineup that we have here on tonight. And I'm always happy to be y'all's host here on Soul Sista Sundays with your girl Algiers Diamond. See, I just made that up myself. Y'all like that? Y'all like that? Y'all like that? Maria was like, yeah. So up first tonight, we have a young lady out of Silver Spring, Maryland. She is a very beautiful, but behind her beauty is a very comical and a young woman who has the funniest jokes. She really brings a lot of light and joy to the stage. I'm excited to hear her on tonight, and I hope that you guys are excited to hear my girl, Miss Elani Nichell.
Woo, yay!
Hi, yes, hello. Thank you so much for the kind introduction, Algiers. I appreciate it. You know what, babe? I can relate to the white people content because I grew up in a place called Amarillo, Texas. I don't know if a lot of you guys have heard of it. If you haven't, good for you, but it's basically white people central. Okay, there's not a lot. We were the only Black family on my block. We were constantly getting asked, why do you tan so much? And I was like, I don't I'm homeschooled. I don't tan black. It led to very interesting conversations. I date a lot of colonizers. I don't know. It might be because of my Texas roots. It just happens. But one thing about white guys, they don't have anything going on. They're like the world's most boring people, right? They day trade, they watch League of Legends. Sometimes, they're like, oh, well, maybe I should think about other people. But they're very mayo. They don't have a lot going on. So I come onto the scene and I try to liven up their lives a little bit. And I let them know that they're pale and that they need to get it together and they need to donate to Black Lives Matters organizations more often. Just make your life more exciting. Something, anything. So I moved up to DC, and when I got here, I realized there was way more Black and brown people, and I was like, oh my God, why didn't you guys tell me that you guys were all up here? I wasn't used to it. I was like, I didn't know that. Is this where you guys were hiding? You just left me in Texas by myself? You guys were all up here? Why didn't you say something when I was suffering with the vanilla villagers? Like, why didn't you let me know? I was struggling. All right. I had nothing and no one. I had to figure out what a lace front was all by myself. Bill and Cheryl were not going to tell me. Okay. Bill and Cheryl, they gave me nothing, honey. All they did was tell me about seasoning and then released me into the world. And that was that. Right. My dad was like, here's the Old Bay spice that I used to use when I lived in Baltimore. But then we moved to Texas and we just do salt and pepper now. We don't want to scare the neighbors too much. Okay. I was like, damn, y'all didn't tell me shit. I got here. It was wild. It was lit. I was like, these are my people. Like, these are the people that I can wild out with. You know what I mean? Much to everybody's disappointment, I am still dating a Mayo man. But in my defense, he's willing to just shut the fuck up. That's what I need in a Mayo man. Somebody who's not going to question me and like my beliefs and things like that. I just tell him like, oh, you know what? Like, white people owe Black people reparations. And he's like, absolutely. And then he just pays for everything. And that's how it should be. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Moving on. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm really thrilled that like in-person shows are back, right? Like I enjoy my Zoom shows, which is why I'm here, but I've missed like the thrill of like parking my car and walking to clubs and like getting to see friends and getting drunk in public and then the police getting called because one of my friends got too drunk and now they're throwing up on the sidewalk. Anyways, so I was in Arlington, Virginia the other night and I was walking to the bar and these two guys approach me and they're just like, oh, you're so beautiful. Like, what are you doing out by yourself this late at night? And like, just generally trying to harass me, And so for about a block and a half, I tolerate it. And then finally, I'm getting bored, right? I'm getting like annoyed. I was like, does your mom know that you're out here like yelling at women at 10 o'clock at night in Arlington, Virginia? Does she know? And they just like stopped. They were like, you don't have to bring my mom into this. And I was like, yeah, we do. We do have to bring your mom into this. Your mom deserves to know that she raised a bitch ass man who's willing to yell at women on the streets in Arlington, Virginia, not even U Street, DC. Because like, that's like, okay, fine, whatever, it's U Street. But Arlington, Virginia, where there are colonizers to witness, what are you doing? What are you doing? And finally they backed off and they were like, my bad, don't tell my mom. And I was like, I'm telling your mom. I'm telling her. And they were like, please don't. She expects better. And I was like, well, then act better. Okay, act better. And so finally they kind of like slinked off into the night. And I heard his friend go, man, that was embarrassing for me to watch. And he was like, how do you think I felt, Clyde? Probably pretty embarrassed. So I used to date older guys because I think it's fun to harass them with their own age, right? Like if you date a guy who's like 14 years older than you can remind him that when he graduated from high school, you were still in kindergarten. They hate that. But I think it's funny, I think it's great. Like one time I was dating an older guy And I told him, I was like, you're not old, but you're a millennial who can afford a house in DC. That's old. And he was like, no, it's not. And I was like, there's no millennial under the age of 30 that can afford a house. Like, you're old. And he was like, you know what? You're so right. And I was like, of course I'm right. I'm always right. Not always. I didn't know what a lace front was until I was like 20, but generally I'm always right. And he got upset with me and he walked off, and he came back and he was like, yeah, you're right. But can you just not remind me so much? And I disagreed. I have to tell you you're old, like I have to remind you that you're balding, you're sad, you're meeting young women off the internet. Like that's an L for you, babe. That's an L for you. I don't that's something for you to think about, not me, okay? Because I'm just here because you do have the house. I'm just checking the place out, making sure you haven't murdered other young women. All right. Like, I'm very paranoid, you guys. I love my true crime shows. I love investigating things. And I especially like going over to men's houses and making sure they haven't killed anybody. All right. Because sometimes you don't know who's under those floorboards, you guys. Again, it could be you if you're not careful. If you're not watching your back, you could be under the floorboards. I've seen it enough times to know. And I'm pretty small, right? I'm 5'5", 112 pounds. Somebody could put me under a floor so fast, I wouldn't even know it till I was there. And I'd be like, damn, it's dark down here. Y'all don't have a nightlight? I don't even get any snacks. I'm just a murder victim. Like, so you have to be careful. You have to be on your P's and Q's, because these men out here, they are wild. Yes, they have houses, but also they have no lives. And also they might kill you if you say no to marrying them. You don't know. And I'm not interested in getting married, you guys. I'm just purely interested in getting your free snacks and leaving. Like, that's it. I have no other goals. So I'm gonna leave you guys with this. So the DC comedy scene is kind of sort of coming back, right? Which is fine. That's totally fine. But I have noticed that it's like we're all doing the same sets that we were doing before the pandemic happened. And it's like, babe, it's not the same anymore. Like, we need new material. I don't know. I don't care what your dating life was like in 2019. You grew a porn stash in quarantine. Talk about that. Okay, talk about the multiple breakdowns that you had when you were stuck in your room for 3 months. You know what I mean? Talk about how you had a brush with coronavirus and almost died, but now you're here to tell us your subpar jokes. Tell us that. I like talking about my quarantine time. I didn't actually learn any new hobbies or talents, but I did manage to get a boyfriend, which is something, I don't know. It's not a lot, and he is still a mayo man, which that's me. But I'm not under anybody's floorboards, so give me that much. Anyways, that is my time, you guys. Bye.
Awesome sauce. She is not under anybody's floorboards. And I'm so proud of you for gaining a boyfriend during the quarantine. I did also. My husband really is happy about me getting this new boyfriend, because he was tired of me. He was tired of me. He be ready for this sister to get on the airplane and go. And while I was sitting here at this house doing this quarantine, it was like, what did I get myself into?
Oh.
So I got me a boyfriend just to take up my little time, and he happy. It keeps the whole family happy. It keeps the whole family happy. I got all these doggone kids up in here, so the boyfriend take 2 on one day and take 2 the other day. We just call them coaches.
No.
Coach, you win. You win, Coach. Today is your day. All right, let me get my life together. Let's shout out our sponsors. Maria, bird wellness specialist and holistic therapy, owns Regina Marie's Divine Treasures. Thank you, Regina. And the Great Olaning. I think that's how I was supposed to say it. I'm black, Dante. You got to spell that the correct way that I'm supposed to state it, because I don't know if that's the correct way. But the Great Olaning.
I told you, great opening. It was a misspelling.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. It's still a great Olaning. Y'all would think I've been drinking, and I have not. I have not been drinking. I've been over at my pastor's house. I got prayer today. Today is Sunday. Y'all supposed to clap. Y'all supposed to clap.
Glory. Glory, glory, hallelujah.
And y'all know before I did praise and worship, I took a little swig of Patron, so worship was on another level. I was in the spirit, yes, God. We are getting ready for our next comedian that is coming on here. My girl is in New Orleans, Louisiana. And I'm just sitting here waiting, killing my time, because I'm waiting for her to finish putting on her makeup. Like we can't see her doing her daggone makeup in the studio. Ma'am, are you finished?
Yes.
You finish, okay? Next up, out of New Orleans, Louisiana, is my girl. She has one of the best festivals, let me tell you, I have been a part of her comedy festival. And she started it, actually. So I'm going to bring up Miss Geneva Joy, and she can tell you all about it.
Hi, how are you? Of course, Algiers is talking about the amazing Black Girl Giggles Comedy Fest. A little, don't tell people, but we haven't announced it. October 21st to the 24th, we're coming back, you guys. But this ain't about them, it's about me. And I just want to say, Elaine, speak for yourself. I'm 40 and single and never been married. I'm willing to die for a ring. I'm just saying, like, I'll do whatever I need to do at this point. It's the Oscars tonight. Most people are watching the Oscars instead of watching all of us hilarious women. And I know growing up, I used to like really, really admire Whitney. I said Whitney Houston. See, this is when I try to do a sober set. What happens? I used to admire Whoopi Goldberg so much because she's like the first Black woman EGOT. You know, that means she's got the Oscar, the Emmy, the Grammy, the Oscar, and the Tony. And I was like, bet I want to be the next great EGOT. And I thought about it. I just realized I totally ruined that joke. Yeah, this quarantine is so crazy. During quarantine, I lost over 50 pounds, right? That was my line. And people were like, oh, that's great. But like, it took me a long time to decide I wanted to lose weight. You know what I mean? Because people think, oh, you want to be thin, but there's benefits to being fat. Like, for instance, I got all this extra thigh meat. And yeah, it makes me have to get patted down after I go through the little at the airport. So they think I'm smuggling something, but it's just thigh meat. But on the flip side, I can hold my pee for like 3 days. All I gotta do is just kind of vacuum seal it in there. And I'm good to go. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like if I lose weight and get that coveted thigh gap, I might just be peeing like a parade horse walking down the street. I don't know if I can hold it. I'm not sure about that. And then people be like, oh, Geneva, nothing tastes as good as skinny feels. Are you sure about that? You know what I mean? Like, have you had a biscuit before? Like, biscuits, bacon, all of it, all the B stuff. I'm not gonna say the B word. So I'm trying to keep it clean this Sunday. My godmom's watching. But Like, for instance, I live in New Orleans, and I went to the doctor, and she was like, you need to watch out for diabetes and you're gaining weight. And I was like, it's really hard for me to lose weight when daiquiris are $5 every Sunday. You know what I mean? And she was like, why don't you try drinking half a daiquiri?
Half.
Exactly, Algiers. Exactly. How would drink half a daiquiri at a whole second line? Like, this don't make no sense. Who gave her a medical degree? Like, I couldn't do it. And like, did you know that a burger and a daiquiri are the same amount of calories? Like, what guy would make you choose between the two? It was like my own personal Sophie's choice. I'm sorry. It was like my own personal Sophie's choice. And I have to apologize. Every time I say that, I have to apologize because I'm from like West Philly. I'm actually in West Philly right now. It's super, super Black. I didn't know what Sophie's Choice was until I got to college. I thought Sophie's Choice was an award show I kept missing. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm getting back to Whoopi Goldberg, because she was that first EGOT, and I was like, bet I would grow up and be like Whoopi Goldberg, but I'm gonna be an EGOTs because I'm gonna win me that Sophie's Choice. And then I got to college and took a Jewish studies course, and I found out that wasn't a prize at all. So I apologize for that. I was with my godmom and my mom today. They're very Christian, as you can see, Jesus Saves in front of the China cabinet. I don't know how much more Christian I need to get. But I tried to show them one of my sets and didn't know I was just dropping cuss words the whole time. I thought it was a clean set. So I'm gonna try to give you guys some of my clean good Christian jokes. I had a big showcase one time and I called my mom and she was like, before that showcase, the Lord told me to tell you, stop getting caught up with people on Facebook. So for all those people who said something smart on my Facebook or my Instagram and I haven't clapped back yet, that was the Lord's grace right there because of my mama. And two, she said, the Lord told me to tell you to go buy a new dress and new shoes. And at first I was like, oh my God, okay, I'm gonna do that. Thank you. Praise God. And then I thought about it. And I was like, why the Lord ain't tell me to go get a new dress? You know what I'm saying? Like, why the Lord just didn't send me some new clothes? Like, let me find out God and my mom is sitting around gossiping about me because they think I'm shabby, you know? Like, he over there like, that's your daughter. She not made in my image, not just like that. She not like.
Wow.
I just thought it was a little petty. That's all I'm saying. The Lord could have came to me directly if he ain't like my outfit. But okay. I grew up in the church. So like, I know a lot of Bible stories, and I was thinking about one recently. I was thinking about Samson and Dahlia. And for you heathens out there, Samson was a very strong man who saved his community, but then he met some skeezer and then she took him out. And like parts of that story are great and it's motivational. It's like trusting God. But like now that I think back at it, it's a little weird. Like for instance, before he was born, an angel came to his mom and was like, I need you to do the following things. And I'm gonna give you a son that's gonna deliver y'all. And like one of them was stop drinking. And she was like, cool, bet. And he grew up and he was strong. But like, if the angel had to tell her to stop drinking, then that makes me think that maybe Samson wasn't the strongest man ever. He was just stronger than everybody else because their moms was drunk their whole pregnancy. Like, everybody follow me with that? Y'all see where I'm going with this? Like, he was just stronger. Like he defeated all the Canaanites or the Samsonites, or like one of them is luggage. I don't know. I wasn't really listening that much. But like, and he was known for his long hair. But again, maybe it wasn't that long, but if there was a bunch of fetal alcohol babies, they was probably balding at like 15. He was the only one with enough calcium. Like this is, so then
Oh my God.
And it all culminates with this scene where he's like captured by them after fighting off like whole armies, and they have him in a temple, and he's starting to think like, oh man, I really messed up. But then he remembers the God in him, and he pulls the chains and makes the whole temple crumble. But again, these babies weren't the healthiest babies. So maybe that temple was made out of paper mache. I don't really have faith in that. I still believe though. I still believe listen to God and do what you want. But I think that passage is not just saying listen to God and be inspired and empowered, but it's also saying like, let there be prenatal vitamins and folic acid. Like, all right. I think also, like you've heard people say, the Black woman is God. And I'm not gonna go as far as say that, but I will say the Black woman is the most godliest person. Like our mamas look directly to the Bible for everything they do, and you see it mirrored in the Bible. The whole Bible sound like your mama and your auntie on the phone gossiping. Am I wrong? Like, you ever ask your auntie, like, well, what's wrong with this person? What's the problem with them? What happened on this particular day? What's she gonna do? Well, I'm gonna tell you what happened. In the beginning, like, oh, come on, like, we ain't got all day for this, you know. No, I did all of this. It wasn't even nothing here. I built this whole department from the bottom up. I was like, boom, right, boom. And then it was like, you know, like, okay, all right, man, calm down. And just like the Black mom with Adam and Eve. Oh, I hooked up the garden real nice, gave him little animals to watch over, let his little girlfriend come over. I did all this for them. All I asked them to do was don't eat my apples. That's all I asked them to do. And then she kicked him out the garden. Black mamas love to kick people out. Like even when the when Pharaoh and the Israelites left Egypt, that's just like a Black mama. Like I told y'all not to go over there worried about Pharaoh that whole time. A Black mama will bring down rain on anybody who deal with her kids. But what happened after that? What God do after that? Delivered them from Egypt and was like, now y'all walk home, because I told y'all in the first place what to do. There's a whole part of the Bible where they just gossiping and telling people business. Like, you know, Abraham, he begat Isaac over there in Canaan, over there by Israel. You know, them people like, did you get to the story? Like, what's happening? When they brought Lot and his family out of Sodom and Gomorrah, like that sounds so Black mama to me. Like I told them to leave, but your little wife had to look back. Like I ain't tell her what was going on. That's why she was salty. Like it's just real petty. You know what I'm saying? like even the part like how the Psalms, the book of Psalms is just like a mixtape. You ever seen them, your aunties and your mom and them talking and they start reminiscing about that man at the post office in 74? They just start singing songs. Like it's a lot. And then even when you get to the back, the end of the Bible, I don't know if you ever had a Black woman be mad at you about to quit your job or do something, but like Revelations is a lot. Like they just can't quit and be like, I'm out. They got to be like, no, you know what's gonna happen when I leave here? I'm gonna get all my kids. We up out of this. Poof, pow, sound the trumpets, fire, brimstone. Like, whoa, okay, ma'am. Just simmer down a little bit.
Brimstone, yes. And let there be light. You done read that joint like 30 minutes ago. Okay?
I'm so sorry.
I was like,
you said 15, I got a clock.
Now I was giving you all of this. I was like, all right.
Listen, I'm a Black woman. I'm like, God, I may not finish when you want it, but I'll finish right on time.
All I'm saying is today they made the rest DMX and he liked us to put our lights up at the concert. So I gave you a whole DMX up in here. And it's all right. I understand. I grew up in a Black church too, and I understand when the pastor be like, I'm almost through.
I'm gonna bring it home.
Go ahead on. No, brother. I gotta be on the lake. I gotta get on the lake.
It's the second line. We got to go, look.
It's time to go. Listen, Black mamas all throughout the Bible, including Mary. Remember? Because what happened was I knew that Mary was a Black woman, so I know that Jesus is a Black man. They was at that wedding. They ran out of wine. Mary said, Jesus, go ahead and turn that water into wine. Jesus was like, what? But it ain't even my time, woman. And Mary was like, and I bet you that wine got made, didn't it? She ain't had to say another thing. Wine got made. She rolled that neck just like a Black mama. Boom. And Jesus turned that water into wine. And it was a fire. All boom, boom. That's what they make the daiquiris out of. I just want you to know that. It's a blessed thing. Let me get my life together. It's okay, Geneva. Ain't nobody was worried about your time. I'm lying. We was. You just ran. It is time for my girl out of Los Angeles. From her name, I believe that she probably lives a little bit off of Crenshaw. Maybe she is in Watts. I don't know, just between Watts and Long Beach, that area that we don't really like. I wasn't sure if I had crossed into Mexico or not when I went there. I was like, wait a minute, all the signs are no longer in English. Where am I? I thought I was south of the border, baby. I was like, la cucaracha, a cucaracha, andale, andale, andale. Funny lady out of Los Angeles, California, Miss Maria DeLaGhetto.
Oh, thanks. Oh my gosh. I even lost track of time. I was here for the sermon, Geneva. I was here for the sermon. I was like, is this what your church is like? Well, no wonder. No wonder everyone's talking about. Like, I grew up in a very diverse, set like neighborhood. I grew up in Northeast LA, but it's East LA. And, so I know, I had Black friends, Asian friends, Mexicans, and just I heard about the churches, and I was like, 3-4 hours, what are you doing in there? What? And that's what you're doing. Y'all aren't even religious. Y'all are just there for the holy cheese man is what you're there for. You just want the tea. Because she was just going on about Jesus and Mary, and I was like, oh my gosh, really? Oh my God. That is not Catholic churches. I grew up in a Catholic church. You sit there, stand up. You're doing aerobics, sit down, stand up, sit down, peace be with you, drink the wine, eat the bread, call it a day. That's it. It was not fun. So, and the music was just, no, that was me yawning as a child. Hallelujah. Anyway, my God, Algiers, the gentrification. So when my neighborhood is Highland Park, and it's so funny because the more I don't know how to, you're from Amarillo, right, Elani, and Amarillo is a Spanish word. That's Spanish AF. Amarillo means yellow, I believe, and Yuza is like the whitest neighborhood. And then Highland Park sounds like some bougie ass. No, it was the hood, bro. It was the hood. It was like cholos, crack pandemic in LA. It's just so funny. It is just so funny how that happens. And I knew that it was gentrified when I went to go get my cafecito and I had soy milk options available. I was like, they've infiltrated us. They've infiltrated. And man, I mean, granted, I still got the soy milk because that Asian lactose intolerant gene is strong. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you didn't know, I am half Latina and I'm half Asian. So specifically Filipino and Mexican. And I know the name threw you off. I know, because it's funny. People are like, oh my God, is that your real name? And I'm like, okay, clearly you're racist. No, I'm just I'm sort of kidding. But no, I'm Mexican. My last name is Mexican. Like my full name, if we were going to use my government name, we would be here all night. No one's going to bring me on and say, and now coming to the stage, Maria Cochito Alato Paquete de Chile Reina Garcia Bernal. No one has time for that, okay? Especially because most of the time we got 5-minute sets. All right, we don't know. So we're going to stick to DeLaGhetto. Just keep it simple. Man, and really it's also like, being like ethnically ambiguous because like people just don't know who or what I am, it just depends on what I'm wearing, who's looking at me, but like so on some days depends on how a lot of it also depends on what my hairstyle, some simple as that. And on the days that I have my bandana and my little pampadora, you know what I'm saying, my big old hoop energy looking chingona F. You know what I'm saying? I'm serving you Rosa the Riveter. People are like, oh, okay, it's pretty clear. And then on other days where I have my little anime space buns, I'm walking around my little boba, my ramen, looking like I'm a Pokemon character trying to catch them all. Yatta! Clear that I'm Asian. There's no confusion there. But then when I have my hair down, I literally let my hair down, I want to say I'm serving you Islander Princess Moana vibes. But let's be honest, y'all. I look like I'm about to start singing, what can I say except you're welcome? I'm big Simone. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. Oh my gosh. And yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Like, you know, funny enough, the first time I ever heard the term pineapple, like I learned recently in the last few years, I learned what a pineapple is for the hair, right? But like a pineapple is like a Hawaiian person or Islander person. And I had no idea what that was. But this guy that I was dating at the time was like, my little pineapple. And I was like, why? I asked him, why do you call me a pineapple? And I think he thought it was, he's like, oh shit, she's gonna think I'm racist. But I legit thought, I was like, is it because of my body type? Like I look like a pineapple? Like, just, what is that? No, it's because he thought I was Hawaiian, which I am not. So yeah, that's great. And you know, also things like the way I dress, it doesn't help. Like sometimes I look, you know, like it's like East LA hood rat meets Hello Kitty, you know? Sometimes it's like bondage meets period depression. And like I started like, you know, sometimes I want to like how I'm feeling. I'm like trying to portray like my more like enlightened side, like spiritual plantita mama, but like I got amethyst crystals in my brass knuckles type of deal. It's just, you know, people just don't know where to peg me, I guess you could say. Or when my favorite is when I go to like the farmers markets, especially in LA, because it ain't nothing but Whitney's and Karen's and Brittany's and okay. And when I'm like walking around and then Whitney catches me, like she just does that like real quick, you know, because she's like, she just bought her organic sage and her crystal infused moon water or whatever. And she hits me with that, oh my God, what are you? Hungry? You think you want jackfruit tacos? Well, come on, man. And I'm just like, oh my God. And I hate it. Like when they always are like, you know, and then if you tell them or if they try to, or my bet, like, you don't even have to say anything. Don't even answer yet. And she'll go off on her own. She's like, oh my God, are you Filipina? A chicken adobo, love it. Mabuhay. God. So nothing brings me more joy than embarrassing white people over stuff like that. So in this instance, I just straight up replied, I was like, ¿qué? Lo siento, no habla inglés. And she just, the sheer shock and embarrassment for a second. And then she replied in Spanish. And I was like, oh shit. You can imagine my surprise. And then I just was like, you know, we can't have nothing. And I just walked away. I was like, you know what, I'm not even. I was like, God, Brittany, just let me enjoy my vegan tacos. You over here, oh my God, what are you now? Like, does it matter? You don't speak, it doesn't matter. So also makes me an easy target for trolls. I love just like this one person on Instagram, verbatim, kid you not, was like, on one of my pictures I posted, it was like, you look like a fat, obese Mexican ate a Filipino.
Wait a minute.
A shock, because damn, that was accurate AF. I have never felt so seen, y'all. I was like, not even the white boys that fetishize me get it right on the first date. You feel me? Like, because we all know white boys love them some Asian. I put a little wingtip eyeliner and all of a sudden I'm like from their favorite anime, which is kind of funny because I look nothing like those girls. I'm like, okay, whatever, bro, just buy me some tacos and we'll call it a day. I mean, ramen, buy me some ramen. I don't know. Depends on what fetish I'm working on that day. Oh my God, might as well get a free meal out of it, you know? Clearly I'm getting a lot of free meals. Bitch is not starving. But speaking of white supremacists, you think white people are racist and white supremacists. No one's a bigger white supremacist than an Asian immigrant boomer who is a devout follower of the Jim Bro, ripped abs, white Jesus, with the flowing hair. Like no one has been. I call her mom. Yeah. And man, she is something else with that that white supremacy. Like it's just wild. I don't understand. Like, you know, that if this immigration laws, if they really get strict on it, both of us are going, we're not staying here. We're getting kicked out. We're the first ones on the plane. You know what I'm saying? Like that's real. And it's just, oh my gosh. Asian moms are something else, let me tell you. Like, they're a whole other level of savagery, because it just hits different when they're mean or when they talk shit, because it comes from the heart. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because they don't like you. It's not because they're trying to talk smack on you. They're just telling you the flat out truth. So, for a perfect example, my mom was like, "Oh my God, you're bigger than the lechon at the fiesta." Now, lechon is the pig, the giant pig that they grill on the spit roast with the apple. And the thing is like, by fact and logic and measurements, she was not wrong. I was bigger than the pig. And I was like, well, I can't even clap back on that, you know? Like, how am I just, or my other favorite one, when I would wear a shirt that was a little like form-fitting or whatever, in her opinion, too tight, she'd be like, you know, oh, you look like yung suman. You look like that suman. Suman is a very sticky rice pudding thing that is stuck inside a banana leaf that is wrapped very tightly in twine. Body dysmorphia is an understatement, is all I'm saying. No, I'm just kidding. I actually have great self-esteem, which also makes her very upset, because nothing makes the mom more mad than you being outspoken and you know, having great self-esteem and not dating a white man, you know? There's just those things. Anyway, I feel like we're finally, let's just give it up for finally coming out of quarantine, right? We're kind of fine. We're getting out. Everything's opening up. We're back out into the wild. So excited. I'm not gonna lie. You know, I can't be that mad about it. You know, the quarantine wasn't that bad. But who got the vaccine? Everybody got the vaccine? Did anybody get the vaccine? No? Yes? Maybe? I did. You know, I kept it organic. I pulled a Whitney. I just got COVID, you know? I was like, let's get the real thing. Thankfully, I was fine. No severe symptoms. You know, I'm still here alive. I guess that's good. No, I am thankful. Sort of. But the thing was, I like Corona, or as I like to call her, Rona. I'm not that mad about it. I'm not that mad about the quarantine, because, like, look, honestly, Rona was petty, because a name like Rona, that's a petty bitch. Let's be real. And Rona made all the skinny girls fat, and all the fat girls kind of skinny. Let me explain why. I used to be considered morbidly obese, and with everybody gaining weight, now I'm thick with 2 C's. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, I'll take it. Let me tell you, I'm not mad, because my OnlyFans is blowing up. Blew up. And I'm genuinely shocked. Genuinely, because I can't believe how many people are paying $13.99 a month to just watch me eat cake. That's, God bless America, you know? So she eats cake on OnlyFans. Follow me. No, I'm kidding.
I was about to follow your ass.
Well, thank you.
I was like, can I do a pop-up?
Get it.
I can't lie. It's not like I haven't been thinking about it. So, well, I will keep you updated. That is for sure.
Suitman
Oh,
might subscribe.
gosh.
I'm not gonna lie. Suitman might subscribe to that.
Suitman, you got me the first one. What you talking about? I love you, man. You're good people's Black Seth Rogen. I love it. Yo, I'm not even mad. Like, on a real tip, I love Seth Rogen. So that is a huge compliment for you, sir. I mean that, like, genuine. I know it seems like I'm always being sarcastic, but like right there, I was being genuine. Am I good on time? I just don't want to. I'm like making sure we're good. Okay.
Don't do me like that.
I kid you not. I did not even know I was in it. I was here for it. I was here for it. Okay, we got a minute. I'll leave you with this. I learned that through the quarantine, each streaming network is the equivalent to a certain drug. hear me out. HBO Max, kind of bougie. You watch an episode here and there. Nobody really binges on that. You know, that's like your weed. Because no one's trying to party on weed. No one's like, hey, let's go. You know, you just like, you smoke a J, have a little snack, watch an episode or two, call it a day, right? But then you want to go a little bit more buck wild, you know, you bust out the Christina, you know what I'm saying? That's Amazon Prime. You know, you're doing lines all night and you do like 5 seasons of Absolutely Fabulous all at once. You're like, and your nose bleeds and you pass out and you're good, right? You know, I mean, and then you have your heroin line, straight to the vein. Netflix just came out with a new Ryan Murphy show, 12 episodes, hour and a half each. And you're like, yeah, give it to me. Even Netflix knows that it's the heroin, because after 7 hours of you in a heroin stupor, even Netflix is like, hey, you good? You good? You're like, oh my God. All right, y'all, that's my time. Thank you so much.
Woo! Give it up for Miss Maria DeLaGhetto. And guess what, Maria? That person was so right. A Mexican did eat out a Filipino. Yo, mama, I'm just saying, yo, mama was doing the nasty.
You ain't wrong.
I
You
didn't
ain't wrong.
know
And if she was doing it right, she ate pineapples beforehand, so she tasted good.
You ain't wrong. You ain't right, girl.
Woo! Tell your mama make sure she eats something sweet. This daddy wants something to eat.
Oh my God.
They say you are what you been eating. You know what I'm saying? She created what she was. Okay, let me get. That is terrible. I just made a joke about this woman's mama getting ate out on a Sunday. It's not,
The
Lord,
Lord's
it's time for somebody send some help. I am guys. Shucks. Guys, let's not forget our our sponsors, Maria Burton, wellness specialist and holistic therapy. Oh, Virginia Marie Divine Treasures. Let me tell you what's not a treasure. Filipino men's penis.
You ain't lying.
I know, so because that was I lost my virginity to this Filipino dude, and I remember I remember it as if it was yesterday. I was like, I didn't feel nothing. And then he said, well, you didn't feel like a virgin. Woo, let me leave him alone.
Over to the people.
I would be good. I would be good. I think my pastor watching. This is horrible. And this is a bad time. I did not invite them. Also, guys, next up on the roster tonight, listen, out in Washington, D.C., there is a set of great comedians who I look up to and I look out to, and whenever they perform, and I go and see them, they don't even be knowing that I be seeing them on stages. I just be up in the place to be, because sometimes, you know, you don't want to kill nobody vibe, you know, especially when you out joke stealing, because that's what I be doing. I be just out there just writing down people's jokes and stuff and be like, I ain't never seen you, girl. That was a good one. So, well, in Washington, D.C., a funny woman whom I truly look to as a sister on the stage. Give it up, guys, for this funny lady, Miss Bria Beddoe.
Yay! Thank you for having me. Sorry y'all had to put me in timeout for being on CP time, but you know what? Whatever. You know, can't nobody oppress you like family. I love it. It's great to be here on Soul Sista Saturdays with all these beautiful Black women. You know, I think Maria DeLaGhetto is one of my favorite Black women in comedy. Definitely. I was looking at the roster. I was like showing somebody, and they're like, "Oh wow, look at all these wonderful Black women," and I was like, I mean, If she's gonna Rachel Dolezal it, like, I'm here for you, girl. Like, well, kinda, you know what I'm saying? You and me. It's nice to be on this show. I love how like it was like an all Black women show, and I was like, yeah. And then it turned into like a marginalized people support group. It was like, white people are terrible, and I was like, oh, you know what? Me too. Let me join in on the fun. You know what I'm saying? White people, am I right? But what are they doing out here? Just trying to oppress us and pay my taxes. That's crazy. A white man paid my taxes this year. This is great. But no, so the pandemic is over, I guess. And you know what? Fuck that. I need people to go back in the house. I'm ready to be quarantined forever. Y'all are terrible. These people's social skills have gotten worse ever since the pandemic. And I personally find that, like, I burped and, oh, Lord Jesus. I personally find that the pandemic brought great things to the Black community. Like, bear with me. Like, I don't know if you have ever been out with your friends. You're out in the town with your melanated girls and queens, and then you go to the bathroom and you see a white lady and she runs past the sink like it's on fire. Thanks to the pandemic, you know, we had to tell them they were going to die if they didn't wash their hands, but you don't have to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're like 20 seconds really in there, you know what I mean? And I need that in my life. Like, I need that fear and shame, you know, because I'm noticing who's getting vaccinated and who's not, because people are reverting back to their old ways. I was just at a restaurant yesterday and there was this girl in the bathroom and she peed. She was next to me. I peed. I was like, damn, girl, you had a lot of water today. You're real hydrated. There's a lot of piss. But you know, like, that's what a bathroom's for. I'm not going to judge or shame you. But what I will do is look at you come out of the stall after me and leave before me, because she did one of these, like, I don't know if you ever seen that. It's disgusting. Where they like pretend like they put the soap on their hands and then they like do this, and then she left, and then I found out she was a server. Yeah, right. I was like, ooh, see, that Johnson and Johnson got everybody real cocky out here. Mm-hmm. I need a blood clot to hit that girl ASAP. That was disgusting. I'm sorry. Like, you can't be out here, you know, recontaminating the public with your pissy hands. Like, I didn't ask for a pussy rim cocktail. You know what I mean? Like, that's disgusting. I'm bisexual, but then not with my food, you know? It's crazy. I moved out of my mom's house this year, and I don't know if y'all know this, but things cost money. And I don't like that. I don't like that things cost money. That's kind of crazy. Did you know that people want you to pay them every month to live? That's insane. And that's just to be in there. Your ass not even washed. You got to pay utilities. You got to pay to see. That's crazy. I'm paying for all this light right now. That's disgusting. I don't recommend it at all. I could have been at my mom's house. And the thing is, I moved out because she was like, Bria, you can't have friends in your room. And I was like, you know what? I'm a grown ass woman. I'm 28 years old. What do I look like not having friends in my room? But now that I think about it, fuck it. Like, we could have sat on the porch. What do I need to spend money on light for? My mom has a Costco membership. We could have been drinking alkaline waters and pineapple juice. You know what I mean? Eating kudos bars and all kinds of shit in bulk. Nutri-Grain, you know, those Pop-Tarts where they only come with strawberry and brown sugar cinnamon. Anybody who grew up in a Costco household know what I'm talking about. You couldn't get wild berry. That wasn't at Costco. But yeah, like, the pandemic's changed everything, and I'm a lot more self-conscious about stuff that I didn't used to be, you know, self-conscious about. Like, I've been practicing body positivity, selling pictures of my ass on the internet, and like whatnot, you know, Black power. But I found that, like, I'm embarrassed by little things. Like, people have been having sex and not having sex during the pandemic, but people are a lot more self-conscious about their bodies now. Not just germs, you know, like, sex can be a little embarrassing. You know, somebody can't get their dick hard, or they didn't clean the anal plug before you got to the house. You know what I'm saying? Just real, like, gross shit like that. But, like, I mean, like, little things. Like, I have something that makes me self-conscious about sex. Like, I have a birthmark on my butt next to my butt crack. And I'm a melanated woman, so naturally, it's a brown birthmark on my butt crack. I don't know if y'all see where I'm going with this. I got a birthmark that looked like a shit stain on my ass, and it makes me self-conscious because like now I have to sit here and like look at this man, look at me, and like try to determine if I know how to wipe right. And it's like, I swear to God, I do. You know what I mean? Like, just touch it. Like, don't be scared. You're already back there.
God.
Just saying, if it's wet, it's because of you. It's not because like it wasn't like that before you got there. You know what I mean? Like, and so it just makes me self-conscious. And I don't know if I want to go back out into the wild with those things going on in my head, makes me nervous. There are a lot of other things about the pandemic that I miss, like not having big crowds. I don't miss big crowds. Those are about to come back. Women, I love us. I love us. But the most anti-feminist thing in the world is a woman's public restroom. It's so anti-feminist. It's anti-woman. And the thing is, we do it to ourselves. Not we, y'all. Some of y'all are nasty. And like, I don't miss going in those long lines and you're playing Russian roulette with who you're going to go after in the bathrooms. There's all kinds of people of different shapes and sizes. And you're looking at them and you can tell, ooh, she don't wash well at home. And now you're just like, like there's 3 people in front of me and that's between me and her. So I'm going to make sure, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get her stall, but then you get into a stall and maybe you don't get her stall, but you get in there after somebody and you see they have pissed all over the seat.
Oh.
Now, you got 2 choices, right? Are you going to clean it up? Or are you going to be the stinky pussy pissy bitch that everybody else after you thinks did that shit? You know what I'm saying? I don't miss that. I don't miss that at all. Kind of wish everybody would just be sick a little bit longer. Just saying. I believe in like a Darwinist society, survival of the fittest. You know what I'm saying? Granted, that being said, I am half vaccinated, but don't tell nobody because like I truly believe that Black people are handling vaccinations the way white people handle how they vote. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know who a white person voted for. All you know is they got a bunch of money in the GameStop thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't know what they're doing or where they align. You know what I'm saying? They got stock at Wendy's. Like Black people do that with the vaccine. Like everybody's like, somebody said earlier, oh, who's vaccinated? And I was like, let me wait and hear all the Black people who said me. So people like, yep, nope, you don't got no Black friends. Because we don't discuss that. Mm-mm. So that way, if I do turn into a zombie, my family's just like, I knew it. Listening to all that rock music when she was in middle school, I should have known.
Rock music.
That being said, another thing I don't miss is like the whole dating aspect. Like, I'm a fair game dater. I'll date across the colonizing lines or whatever. I don't call them colonizers though, because like they've been giving me Juneteenth money for like 2 years on Venmo, so I can't be too mad at them. None of y'all sent me Juneteenth money. You know what I'm saying? But like, I can't wait to like. Oh well, never mind. I've CP timed myself out. Let me get out of here. But I'm Bria Beddoe, y'all. Thank you so much.
Woo! Woo! Thank you, Bria. Who's down with SPPB? Yeah, no, not me. I said, oh, y'all. All right, the truth about bathrooms. Y'all always worried about the seat. Y'all always worry about the handle. That is not where the germs are. Ladies, when you go to a public bathroom, make sure you look underneath where you pull for the toilet paper at. I promise you, I have seen some nasty underneath there because sometimes y'all go check. Every one of y'all check. That's why I bring my own toilet paper with me because that's the nastiest place. Right underneath there, it kind of get hooked up on the right there, and you get a little. Yep. And you think you cleaning your coochie, and you not really cleaning your coochie. You actually adding to whatever with somebody else's. That's nasty, ain't it? And then there was a point where I read on Facebook there was an article about men saying that they didn't wipe. I was like, why didn't wipe? Talking about wiping made them gay. No, sir.
What?
If you get a little out of wiping your ass, that does not make you gay. That makes you ticklish, sir. You're real ticklish.
Oh my God.
I am awful. I am terrible. I'm a terrible person. And I'm so happy to be your host on tonight on this Soul Sista Sundays. We have come down to our final great comedian. I have performed with Dahlia a plethora of times now. I love it since Portland, and we've done several Zoom shows, internet shows. Dahlia keeps me laughing. Dahlia tells the truth. Dahlia is just so doggone cute. I don't know. It's just something about Dahlia is like this fun size, like the fun like I can pick Dahlia up, and I'm not like the biggest chick, but I
Oh
can
my
pick
God.
Dahlia up and put her right on my lap. Dahlia. So Dahlia, Belle, everybody.
Hello. Every last word of that is true, by the way. I am fully vaccinated, and I'm very happy about that. I did a show in rural Washington last night, and everyone looked at me like I was crazy for wearing a mask, and I looked at them like they were crazy because they lived in rural Washington. And can someone please just explain to me why in every small town there's at least one nigga that's going to tell you something you didn't ask them about? This time I go up to a man, I say, hey, where's a good place to get coffee in the morning? And he says, ain't no racism here. I didn't ask that. Now I'm suspicious. Now I'm worried. A minute ago, I was just fine. I was just waiting for a motherfucking cup of dark roast. And now I'm checking for Klansmen. I didn't like it. So I was so relieved to be back home here in my beautiful city of Portland. It is a very white city. It is, but it's a white guilty city. Very, very apologetic. On my way back from Washington, there are a bunch of white men on a bridge waving American flags and the Gadsden flag. For those of you not from the Pacific Northwest, the Gadsden flag is that yellow one with the homosexual snake that's wrapped up like a boa. And it's like, tread on me, I bought a bitch. Yes, that one. That's the flag they were flying. That like not more than 10 minutes after we crossed the bridge back over to civilization, I was stopped at a traffic light, and this older man rode up next to me on a bicycle. And as he pulled out in front of my vehicle, he put up the fist of solidarity. And I nearly cried. I was so relieved to be back home, you know, and I put up the fist of solidarity right in return. And I watched as he rode to the next corner and once again threw up the fist of solidarity because that nigga was just turning right. So fuck him. That was real disappointing. Here I am thinking we're about to kickstart the revolution. This nigga's just obeying traffic laws. That's weak. It's not good. It's disappointing. I do want to also apologize for my use of the word nigga. My fiance, who is also Black, by the way, has brought it to my attention that not all Black people use the nigga word as punctuation. However, I come from a long, proud lineage of niggas, and my dad is a professional writer. So I just grew up knowing that all sentences spoken in the King's English end with nigga. It's just proper grammar. You know, we're gonna talk we're gonna talk about niggas, and my fiance helps me learn all sorts of new concepts like camping. And I knew camping existed in theory, I saw it on the TV and stuff. But yeah, my fiance is a Black person who enjoys camping. And there are just certain things that I personally found uncomfortable about camping. It's dark, it's wet, trees, roots, and white people. Those are just the first 5 that immediately spring to mind for me. And I know, everyone, we have said a lot of very mean things about white people tonight. However, I will also give credit where credit is due, because white people are ambitious. They're so ambitious. I don't have enough energy in me to hate an entire group of people, much less hate multiple groups of people. And I'm definitely not about to build a fucking boat, because have you seen the ocean? It's terrifying. It's huge. 30-foot waves, hurricanes, sea monsters. Listen, I'm not a flat earther, technically, unless we're discussing the ocean, okay? I don't believe in anything I can't reach by land. If God hasn't built me a bridge, he didn't want me to see the shit. It's not real. It's like Narnia. Or anyhow, one thing I will say with the ambition of white people to sail across the sea, slaughtering, massacring, and then importing new niggas to hate as well. It's stupid, actually. It's really stupid. And here's the thing, niggas do stupid things too, like date white people. But the thing is, white people do crazy things like date niggas but still hate niggas. And why would you do that? Now you're just inconveniencing you. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. My other issue with camping, fundamentally, as a Black American, I feel it's disrespectful to our ancestors, because my predecessors did not fight and struggle and die so that I could sleep my pretty ass on the ground. That is not what it's about. The struggle was so that I could live in a carpeted apartment in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. That's what the whole movement was about. So I'm just keeping it real and turning right. I do love my partner. We have a lot in common, very much in common. In fact, we have similar genders, similar body types, and it's the best sex I have ever had. Seriously, if you've never been dicked down by your doppelganger, you are missing out. Get on it. It's fantastic. And the thing is, I didn't even think my partner and I looked that much alike for the longest time, because like I said, we're both Black and we live in Portland. So yes, most of our friends are white and their opinions can't be trusted. But then my brother contacted me and said, my partner and I look like twins. And that means more coming from my brother, because we also look like twins. And I also understand that if you're listening to this narrative, it might sound like I'm sexually interested in my brother, and that is not true. I'm absolutely not that white, not into incest. My brother and I have a different complicated relationship predicated on the fact that my brother is very conservative. So anytime I come up in conversation, he tries to reassign me a sexual identity. And his current favorite is, I don't think you're queer, Dahlia. I don't think you're queer. I think you're just a weird dude. Just a weird dude. And the thing is, I don't want to think that my brother's an idiot. So I prefer to think he's just a weird dude. So we can still have that in common. So my comedy is all about is bringing people together. I do have a 16-year-old son that catches people by surprise sometime. I understand. What catches me by surprise is that his other mother does not realize she's a lesbian. And that catches me by surprise because after 10 years of marriage to me, one of the reasons she gave for filing for divorce was my ambiguous sexuality. I'll grant you that. 5 years later, the person for whom she left me came out as a trans woman. Think about that for a moment. And obviously, I'm not saying my ex is going around turning people transgender. It does not work that way. But I am extremely petty, so I want her to think it is. So if y'all could just help me spread this rumor, make me a lot happier. My partner and I, we live in Portland, so we are, of course, polyamorous. At least we were prior to the pandemic. It's very difficult to date during a pandemic, because I've discovered, for me at least, only two types of men seem to date during a pandemic, and both are serial killers. The most promising gentleman I saw on the internet was a young man from Kingston, Jamaica. And again, I can't reach it by land. I don't believe it exists. So I asked him for a picture, and he sends me a picture of himself and a large group of his friends, all armed with machine guns and machetes. And that's fine, right to bear arms and all that. But some of their faces are blurred out, and only some of them. And I ask you, why? Why? Are they ghosts? Because here's the thing, everyone. I will absolutely bottom in an armed gangbang, but I will not fuck with ghosts, all right? I'm a Christian. I have morals and standards. I learned my morals mostly from my mother. She's a wonderful, wonderful Christian woman. And the first time I came out, I was 16. And at that time, I thought I was bisexual, which is basically trans, but in the 90s. So I go to my mom with tears in my eyes, and I say, Mom, I think I might be bi. And my mother reached out her hand and said, baby, I will love you no matter what. Just don't let white men ejaculate in your booty hole, because that's how you get the AIDS. And we never spoke of it again. That was the only birds and the bees talk I ever had. My partner and I, though we do have a lot in common, we do also have subtle differences. For example, my partner uses they, them pronouns to let people know they don't believe in Jesus. Whereas I use she, her pronouns because I don't like conversation. So just cut it short. Just go with she, shake on it. It's easier. The other difference, I am AMAB, whereas my partner is AFAB. In other words, I was assumed to be a boy when I was born, whereas my partner was assumed to be a girl when they were born. In other words, we're very easily mistaken for a heterosexual couple, except that our relationship confuses the fuck out of heterosexuals. It's fantastic. They're never sure of which one of us they should fight or fuck. Mostly because the answer is both. 100% both. Because I am kind of an outspoken feminist, sometimes people assume that I also hate men, which is not true at all. I do not hate men. All I mean when I say that I'm a feminist is that I truly believe in my heart that any woman can do absolutely anything any man can do. I truly believe that. And I also believe that while brilliant, incredible women are out changing the world for the better, I'm a fuck their boyfriends. And both of those things, both of those facts can coexist. You see, it's nuance. My parents would be so proud. I talk a lot about sex, but it's all talk, honestly. It is all talk, because I have the same relationship with sex that I have with money, meaning I don't really like it, but it's how I pay for things. And I don't want anyone to get the wrong idea either. I am a very strong, independent young woman. Unless I need something repaired, opened, or there's a spider on it, in which case I'm extremely neat, but only in those three settings. Also, fuck spiders. Why do I hear myself? I'm echoing. It's like I've inceptioned my own jokes into myself. It's super meta. It's very baffling. If anyone else hears me echoing, we'll pretend I'm God. For the rest of the evening, this Black woman is God, in fact. It's not the silliest thing I ever believed. I've always had weight issues myself, not in terms of height. I'm very tiny, as as Algiers was so kind to point out, I am very tiny, but also very round. And when I was a kid, I convinced myself I had just been born pregnant. So every time I sat down to poop, I told myself it was going to be my lucky day, and I was going to give birth through my booty hole, have a flat tum-tum, and all the boys would love me. That was my entire plan for the longest time, until I realized how unappealing the underage single-parent poop child might be. So, just one more dream that Black women don't get to have. We don't get to have any nice things. Not even little poop babies. Anyhow, I don't know if I'm burning the light. How much time do I have? Am I all alone?
I think
Give a
that
minute.
you ran.
I have a minute?
15, 30. No.
Fantastic. In that case, I leave you all with this, and I want to remind you, I am engaged. This bitch getting wifed up. My partner's a counselor, by the way. I'm marrying up, okay? Ladies, if you have a man, fart on that nigga's dick. Do it tonight, after the show, right before he goes to bed. Just do a cute little wiggle scoot, fart on that nigga's dick. Change the whole power dynamic of your relationship. It will never be the same again. That's how we're fighting the patriarchy in 2021. Farting on dicks. Thank you so much. You've been wonderful. Have a good night.
But I'll fart on. This is okay, Dahlia. And first of all, I got this microphone like it's connected. It's not. Okay. And then, second of all, Dahlia, you said you live in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon, as if you had a choice. That's where they have all the Black people, in the suburbs of Portland, Oregon. There is no Black people within the city limits of Portland, Oregon. Trust me.
It's true. That's fact.
I did my research. If your name is not Methany, you are not inside of, y'all didn't get that. Methany. They are hilarious. Thank you so much, Delia. Thank you for your time. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Elani, Nichell, Miss Geneva Joy, Maria DeLaGhetto. That's when we was on Soul Sista Sundays, and then we took a slight curve to Asian Blacks, and then we came back to Black woman with Bria, Beddoe, and Dahlia. Because honestly, I didn't understand like the first 5 minutes of Maria's talking. I was like, wait a minute, I'm gonna listen for every other word, because she was speaking. I don't know what language were you speaking, Maria?
Oh, it was Tagalog just mixed in there. Yeah, no, for sure.
It was all up in there. Guys, thank you for joining us for another Soul Sista Sundays. I hope I did not get myself into too much more trouble, and I hope I didn't get Dante into any more trouble than what I always do. I be lying, y'all. I be trying to get him in a world of trouble. I be like, I will mess him up. But Soul Sista Sundays has been so fun for me to host. Shout out to Maria Bird, wellness specialist in holistic therapy, owns Regina Maria's Divine Treasures. You can go to Regina-Maria's-Divine Treasures .square.site and find all of her great things. I think he'll probably put it inside of the comments section on Facebook, etc., etc. But it's been a joy to be your host. I'm Algiers Diamond, and I'm out of here.
Woo!
Suitman here, real quick. I just wanted to let everybody know, especially the ones local to Seattle, we've got our first live show this Friday. We're doing Laughs at Lo-Fi. Now, if you don't get your fucking tickets soon, we're only selling 50. I know niggas like to buy shit at the door, but we like to keep doors open. So I'm only selling 50. I don't give a fuck if you hand me a Benjamin or not. Okay. Not only that, but we've got a first show of the month next month. It's our first episode of the SSI show. It's our social security influencer show. We do it at 12 o'clock noon on Saturdays for all the old people. And then, of course, on the second, we've got autistic artists and dating with disabilities. You should have saw Elani's face. She's, what the fuck did he just say? Yeah, I'm doing a comedy show for old people with old people. Fuck it. And it's at noon. That way they can get it right before supper. Hey, but thank you for tuning in, everybody. I love Soul Sista Sundays. Great job, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
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 Sorry, I wasn't going to expect you to remember all that shit, and I really